Hello there. Welcome. And thank you for joining me tonight. Wherever you are curled beneath a warm blanket, listening through soft headphones, or letting the night drift in through your window, this space is just for you. You've arrived at boring history for sleep, where the past whispers instead of shouts, and where we let time unfold not in leaps and battles, but in gentle, measured breaths. Tonight, we journey along one of the most legendary trade routes in human history, the Silk Road. But this is not the story of riches and glamour. This is a slower, deeper kind of tale. A story told not by generals alone, but by the weary merchant, the stone-faced soldier, the quiet emperor, and a curious stargazer. We will walk through shifting sands, climb steep mountain paths, follow the echo of hooves across the steppe, and eventually arrive in glittering cities where silken scrolls changed hands under 1,000 different skies. We begin not with gold or glory, but with grit, with the footsteps of the trader who had to survive it all. So take a slow breath in and a slower breath out, settle in, and let the journey begin. Imagine, if you will, a life defined by the horizon, a constant, shimmering line that promised both opportunity and peril. Your existence for months on end is a perpetual motion, a slow, deliberate crawl across a world both breathtakingly beautiful and brutally unforgiving. You are a Silk Road merchant, and your life is a testament to an almost unimaginable fortitude, a daily gamble against forces both natural and human. The allure of immense profits, the promise of exotic goods from distant lands, is a powerful magnet, drawing you into a cycle of relentless travel. But the cost, the sheer, unyielding burden of this life, is profound. Consider first the very act of movement. Your mode of transport, more often than not, is the camel, the ship of the desert. These magnificent stoic creatures, laden with bales of silk, fragrant spices, precious jewels, and rare ceramics, become your companions, your lifeline. But even they, with their legendary endurance, are susceptible to the harsh realities of the journey. Their groans and grunts, the rhythmic padding of their broad feet on sand or stone, form the constant soundtrack to your days. Each morning, the ritual of loading begins, a meticulous process of balancing weight, securing cargo, and ensuring the well-being of your animals. A single misstep, a poorly tied knot, could mean disaster, a spilled load, damaged goods, or worse, a crippled animal, leaving you stranded in the vast, indifferent expanse. Your days are dictated by the sun, your nights by the stars. Before dawn breaks, painting the eastern sky with hues of rose and gold, the caravan stirs. The air, crisp and often cold, carries the scent of wood smoke from dying fires and the earthy aroma of the camels. A quick, often meager, meal is consumed, and then the long march begins. Hour after hour, you walk alongside your animals, or perhaps ride atop a swaying saddle, the landscape slowly shifting around you. The sun, a relentless orb in the sky, climbs higher, its heat intensifying, beating down upon your head, baking the very ground beneath your feet. The dust, fine and pervasive, rises with every step, coating your skin, settling in your hair, and finding its way into every crevice of your clothing. It clings to your throat, parching it, making every breath a dry, rasping effort. Water, that most precious commodity, becomes an obsession. Every drop is rationed, every oasis a beacon of hope. The taste of cool, fresh water after days of thirst is a luxury beyond measure, a moment of pure, unadulterated relief. But oases are not always guaranteed, and sometimes the wells are dry, or worse, poisoned. The constant threat of dehydration is a gnawing anxiety, a silent companion on your journey. You learn to read the subtle signs of the land, to recognize the faint tracks that might lead to a hidden spring, to discern the quality of water by its color and smell. A misjudgment, a wrong turn, could mean succumbing to the desert's merciless embrace, your bones eventually bleached by the sun, a silent testament to the road's indifference. Then there are the mountains, colossal barriers of rock and ice that demand a different kind of respect, a different kind of struggle. The passes are narrow, winding, often treacherous, clinging precariously to the sides of sheer cliffs. The air thins, making every step an exertion, your lungs burning with the effort. The cold bites, a sharp contrast to the desert's heat, and sudden blizzards can descend with terrifying speed, burying trails, disorienting even the most experienced guides. Avalanches, silent and swift, can sweep away entire sections of the path, leaving impassable chasms. The risk of a fall, a slip on loose scree or ice, is ever present, a constant reminder of your vulnerability in these majestic, yet perilous landscapes. The silence of the mountains is profound, broken only by the wind's howl and the strained breathing of your caravan, a silence that can be both awe-inspiring and deeply isolating. Bandits, the shadow dwellers of the Silk Road, represent another, more immediate threat. These opportunistic predators, often organized into formidable gangs, lie in wait, their eyes fixed on the valuable cargo you carry. The fear of an ambush is a constant undercurrent, a tension that never truly dissipates. Every distant cloud of dust, every unusual sound, sends a ripple of apprehension through the caravan. You travel in numbers, seeking safety and collective strength, but even large caravans are not immune. The clash of steel, the shouts of men, the terrified cries of animals. These are the sounds of a nightmare realized. If captured, the consequences are dire: robbery, enslavement, or death. You learn to sleep lightly, one ear always attuned to the sounds of the night, your hand never far from a weapon. The landscape, so vast and open, can suddenly transform into a claustrophobic trap, a stage for brutal, desperate encounters. Beyond the physical dangers, there is the psychological toll. Months away from home, from family, from the familiar comforts of settled life, exacts a heavy price. Loneliness, a deep, pervasive ache, can settle in, especially during the long, silent nights under a canopy of indifferent stars. The monotony of the journey, the endless repetition of walking, riding, and watching, can wear down even the strongest spirit. Dreams of home, of loved ones, of a warm meal and a soft bed become both a comfort and a torment. You learn to find solace in the small things: the camaraderie of your fellow merchants, the shared stories around a flickering campfire, the fleeting beauty of a desert sunset. But the yearning for connection, for stability, remains a constant, quiet hum beneath the surface of your consciousness. Disease, an invisible enemy, is another ever-present danger. Unsanitary conditions, contaminated water, and close proximity to animals and other travelers create fertile ground for illness. A simple fever, a persistent cough, or a sudden bout of dysentery, which might be a minor inconvenience in a settled community, can become a life-threatening crisis on the road. Medical aid is scarce, often non-existent, and remedies are rudimentary at best. A sick merchant is a burden, a liability, and the fear of falling ill, of being left behind to perish, is a chilling prospect. The rhythm of their lives, a constant struggle against the elements and human malevolence, is punctuated by the silent, insidious threat of sickness, a reminder of the fragility of life in this unforgiving environment. And then there are the uncertainties of the market. The value of your goods fluctuates, influenced by supply and demand, by political instability, by the whims of distant rulers. A journey that began with the promise of immense profit could end in financial ruin. You are a gambler, placing your entire livelihood, your very existence, on the capricious currents of trade. The negotiations in the bustling caravanserai, the haggling over prices, the intricate dance of commerce, these are the moments where your fate is decided. A shrewd deal can secure your future. A poor one can condemn you to another arduous journey, another cycle of risk and hardship. The weight of these economic uncertainties rests heavily on your shoulders, adding another layer of stress to an already demanding life. So, as you drift deeper into the quiet contemplation of this ancient world, consider the Silk Road merchant. Their life was not one of romantic adventure, but of relentless toil, of constant vigilance, of profound resilience. They were the sinews of a global network, the human conduits through which cultures and commodities flowed. Their struggles, their quiet triumphs, their enduring spirit are etched into the very dust of those ancient roots. And as we leave them to their arduous journey, let us carry with us a newfound appreciation for the sheer human will that propelled them forward, day after day. Across a world that both beckoned and threatened, a world where the promise of distant riches was always tempered by the harsh realities of the road. Let us delve deeper into the daily grind, the subtle discomforts that accumulate over weeks and months, shaping the very character of a Silk Road merchant. Beyond the grand threats of bandits and blizzards, it was the persistent, insidious erosion of comfort that truly defined their existence. Consider the clothing they wore, often coarse wool or linen, designed for durability rather than luxury. It offered protection from the sun and the biting cold, but it chafed against the skin, collected dust and sweat, and rarely knew the luxury of a thorough washing. The constant friction, the persistent itch, the feeling of grime accumulating, these were the small, unceasing reminders of their arduous journey. Sleep, when it came, was often fitful, disturbed by the sounds of the caravan, the shifting of the animals, the watchful eyes of guards, or the simple discomfort of the hard ground beneath a thin blanket. The luxury of a soft bed, a quiet room, or even a truly undisturbed night's rest was a distant memory, a dream to be savored in rare moments of respite. The food, too, was a monotonous affair. Dried meat, hard biscuits, dates, and perhaps some dried fruit formed the staple diet. Fresh produce was a rarity, a fleeting luxury found only in the scattered oases or at the beginning of a journey. The lack of variety, the constant chewing of tough, preserved foods, contributed to a pervasive sense of weariness. The body, constantly expending energy, craved fresh sustenance, but the road offered little. The taste of dust, the grit in every mouthful, became an unwelcome seasoning. Even the simple act of eating was a reminder of the journey's demands, a utilitarian necessity rather than a moment of pleasure. And then there was the constant negotiation with local authorities, with tribal leaders, with other merchants. Every border crossing, every new territory, brought with it the need for permits, for tolls, for gifts, for endless discussions and bargaining. These were not always hostile encounters, but they were always draining, requiring patience, shrewdness, and an acute understanding of local customs and power dynamics. A misspoken word, a perceived slight, could lead to delays, confiscation of goods, or even imprisonment. The merchant had to be a diplomat, a negotiator, a linguist, and a psychologist, all while battling the fatigue of the road. The mental burden of these interactions, the constant need to be alert and adaptable, added another layer of stress to their already demanding lives. The very landscape, while often beautiful, could also be profoundly disorienting. The vast, featureless expanses of desert, the endless undulations of sand dunes, the dizzying heights of mountain passes, these environments could play tricks on the mind. Mirages shimmered in the distance, promising water that wasn't there. The silence of the desert, broken only by the wind, could be deafening, amplifying every anxious thought. The sheer scale of the world, the seemingly endless journey, could induce a sense of insignificance, a feeling of being a tiny speck against the backdrop of an indifferent universe. This psychological pressure, the feeling of being constantly at the mercy of forces beyond one's control, was a subtle but persistent companion. Consider the social isolation. While traveling in a caravan offered a degree of camaraderie, the bonds formed were often transient, forged out of necessity rather than deep personal connection. Fellow merchants might be rivals as much as companions, each guarding their own interests. The merchant was often a stranger in a strange land, moving through communities where they had no roots, no family, no established place. The longing for familiar faces, for the comfort of one's own hearth, for the simple act of being understood without explanation, was a constant, quiet ache. The road, while connecting distant lands, often disconnected the individual from the very fabric of settled human society. Even the rewards, the immense profits that drove these arduous journeys, came with their own anxieties. The wealth accumulated was often in the form of valuable, portable goods, making the merchant a constant target. The fear of losing everything, of having years of effort vanish in a single ambush or disastrous market downturn, was a heavy burden. The very success of a journey could breed new fears, new vulnerabilities. The merchant was perpetually on guard, even when the immediate dangers of the road receded. The weight of their possessions, both physical and financial, was a constant presence. So, as we reflect on the life of a Silk Road merchant, it becomes clear that their existence was a tapestry woven with threads of hardship, vigilance, and profound resilience. They were the unsung heroes of globalization, the human bridges connecting distant worlds. Their struggles, their quiet triumphs, their enduring spirit are etched into the very dust of those ancient roots. And as we leave them to their arduous journey, let us carry with us a newfound appreciation for the sheer human will that propelled them forward, day after day, across a world that both beckoned and threatened. A world where the promise of distant riches was always tempered by the harsh realities of the road. Their story is a testament to the enduring human capacity for endurance, for adaptation, and for the relentless pursuit of opportunity, even in the face of overwhelming odds. It is a story that, in its quiet telling, allows us to glimpse the profound depths of human experience, a reminder that the past, in all its complexity, continues to resonate with the present. From the desolate steppes of Central Asia, a figure emerged who would forever alter the course of history. A man whose name would echo through the centuries, inspiring both awe and terror. This is the story of Temujin, the boy who would become Genghis Khan, a narrative of hardship, relentless ambition, and the forging of an empire so vast it dwarfed all that came before it. To understand the Silk Road, one must understand the Mongols, for their thunderous arrival reshaped its very arteries, bringing both destruction and an unprecedented era of safe passage. Temujin's early life was not one of privilege or ease, but of brutal struggle. Born into a nomadic tribal society, he experienced firsthand the harsh realities of steppe life, internecine warfare, betrayal, and a constant fight for survival. His father, a tribal chieftain, was poisoned when Temujin was young, leaving his family vulnerable and ostracized. They were forced to subsist on roots and berries, constantly on the move, hunted by rival clans. This crucible of adversity forged in Temujin a resilience, a cunning, and an unwavering determination that would define his future. He learned to navigate the treacherous currents of tribal politics, to forge alliances, and to understand the hearts of men, both their loyalties and their weaknesses. The unification of the Mongol tribes was not a swift or easy process. It was a painstaking, often brutal endeavor, marked by strategic alliances, decisive battles, and a ruthless elimination of rivals. Temujin possessed an uncanny ability to inspire loyalty among his followers, offering them a vision of unity and shared purpose that transcended traditional tribal loyalties. He recognized talent regardless of lineage, promoting individuals based on merit rather than birthright. This meritocratic approach, revolutionary for its time, allowed him to assemble a formidable fighting force, a diverse collection of warriors bound together by a common cause and an unshakable belief in their leader. His military genius was undeniable. The Mongol army, though often outnumbered, was a force of unparalleled speed, discipline, and tactical innovation. They mastered the art of the feigned retreat, drawing their enemies into ambush, and utilized complex flanking maneuvers that bewildered and overwhelmed their opponents. Their mastery of the composite bow, capable of delivering devastating volleys of arrows at long range, made them a terrifying adversary. But it was their logistical prowess, their ability to move vast armies across immense distances, living off the land or carrying minimal supplies, that truly set them apart. They were a self-sufficient, highly mobile war machine, capable of striking with lightning speed and vanishing just as quickly. The conquest began, a relentless tide that swept across Asia and into Europe. From the steppes of Mongolia, the Mongol hordes surged westward, conquering the powerful Khwarezmian Empire, devastating cities, and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Their reputation preceded them, a psychological weapon as potent as any arrow. Tales of their ferocity, their ruthlessness, and their seemingly unstoppable advance spread like wildfire, often causing cities to surrender without a fight. The Silk Road, once a conduit for trade, became a highway for conquest, its established routes facilitating the Mongol advance. Yet, amidst the destruction, there was also a peculiar order. Genghis Khan, despite his ruthlessness, was a pragmatist. He understood the importance of trade and communication for maintaining control over his vast empire. While cities that resisted were often razed, those that surrendered were spared, their populations often put to work for the Mongol war machine. He established a sophisticated postal system, the Yam, which allowed messages and goods to travel rapidly across his domains, further solidifying his control and facilitating the flow of information. The Mongol Empire, at its zenith, stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe, the largest contiguous land empire in history. This vast dominion, however, was not without its internal complexities. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire fragmented in several powerful khanates, each ruled by his descendants. While these khanates often engaged in their own internal conflicts, they largely maintained the Pax Mongolica, an era of relative peace and stability across the Eurasian landmass. This stability, ironically, breathed new life into the Silk Road, making it safer for merchants to travel than ever before. Goods, ideas, and technologies flowed freely across the continent, facilitated by the Mongol peace. The impact of Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire on the world was profound and multifaceted. They were agents of both destruction and connection. Their conquests led to immense loss of life and the destruction of ancient civilizations, but they also facilitated an unprecedented exchange of knowledge, technology, and culture between East and West. Gunpowder, printing, and the compass, all Chinese inventions, found their way to Europe via the Silk Road during the Mongol era, profoundly influencing the course of European history. The Black Death, too, traveled along these same routes, a grim testament to the interconnectedness the Mongols had forged. Genghis Khan's legacy is complex, a tapestry woven with threads of brutality and brilliance. He was a military genius who unified disparate tribes and built an empire of unprecedented scale. He was a ruthless conqueror who brought immense suffering to millions. But he was also a visionary who understood the power of organization, communication, and trade. His impact on the Silk Road was transformative, turning a perilous network of routes into a relatively safe conduit for global exchange, a testament to the enduring power of human ambition and the unpredictable currents of history. As we leave the thunder of the Mongol cavalry behind, and the echoes of their conquests fade into the vastness of the steppe, we carry with us the understanding that even in destruction, there can be the seeds of new connections, new pathways for the flow of ideas and goods. The Silk Road, ever resilient, adapted to the new order, becoming a testament to the enduring human desire for connection, even across the most formidable of empires. Let us now delve deeper into the strategic brilliance and the sheer human cost of the Mongol expansion. exploring the nuances of their military machine and the profound psychological impact they had on the world. The Mongol army was not merely a collection of fierce warriors. It was a highly organized, disciplined force, operating with a level of coordination rarely seen in warfare before their time. Their communication system, relying on swift horsemen and smoke signals, allowed for rapid dissemination of orders across vast distances, enabling complex maneuvers and coordinated attacks that often caught their enemies off guard. This efficiency was a cornerstone of their success, transforming nomadic skirmishes into large-scale, devastating campaigns. Their tactics were often brutal, designed to instill terror and break the will of their opponents. The practice of siege warfare, for instance, saw them employing captured engineers and laborers to construct siege engines, diverting rivers to flood cities, or even catapulting diseased corpses over city walls, a grim precursor to biological warfare. The psychological impact of such methods was immense, often leading to swift surrenders, as cities chose to open their gates rather than face the horrors of a prolonged siege and the inevitable slaughter that followed a successful Mongol assault. This calculated use of terror was a key component of their strategy, minimizing their own casualties while maximizing the impact on the enemy. Beyond the battlefield, the Mongols implemented sophisticated administrative structures to govern their vast territories. While their initial conquests were marked by destruction, they quickly realized the importance of stable governance for extracting resources and maintaining control. They often adopted existing administrative systems, incorporating local elites into their bureaucracy, and establishing a system of taxation that, while often heavy, provided a degree of predictability. This pragmatic approach allowed them to consolidate their gains and maintain a semblance of order across their sprawling empire, facilitating the flow of tribute and goods back to the Mongol heartland. The cultural exchange fostered by the Pax Mongolica was truly remarkable. Scholars, artisans, and religious figures traveled freely across the empire, leading to a vibrant cross-pollination of ideas. Persian astronomy influenced Chinese mathematics, while Chinese printing techniques found their way to the Middle East. The Mongol courts became centers of learning and artistic patronage, attracting talent from across their diverse domains. This intellectual ferment, born out of conquest, inadvertently laid the groundwork for future advancements in various fields, demonstrating how even in the wake of destruction, new forms of creativity and knowledge can emerge. However, it is crucial to acknowledge the immense human suffering that accompanied the Mongol expansion. Millions perished during their conquests, entire cities were razed, and ancient civilizations were irrevocably altered. The destruction of agricultural lands, irrigation systems, and urban infrastructure had long-lasting consequences, leading to famines and demographic shifts that reshaped the human landscape of Eurasia. The memory of the Mongol invasions remained etched in the collective consciousness of many cultures for centuries, a stark reminder of the destructive potential of unchecked power. Yet, the very scale of their empire and the relative peace they imposed also led to an unprecedented era of interconnectedness. The Silk Road, under Mongol dominion, became a safer and more efficient conduit for trade and travel than it had been for centuries. European merchants like Marco Polo were able to journey deep into China, bringing back tales of unimaginable wealth and technological marvels that ignited European curiosity and contributed to the age of exploration. The exchange of goods was not limited to luxuries. Agricultural products, medicinal knowledge, and even diseases travel along these routes, fundamentally altering the biological and economic landscapes of both East and West. Genghis Khan's personal journey, from an orphaned outcast to the ruler of the largest land empire in history, is a testament to his extraordinary will and vision. He was a leader who understood the power of unity, the importance of discipline, and the strategic value of both terror and pragmatism. His legacy is a complex tapestry of creation and destruction, of unification and fragmentation, of profound impact that continues to shape our understanding of global history. The Mongol Empire, though fleeting in its unified form, left an indelible mark on the world, forever altering the geopolitical landscape of Eurasia and demonstrating the transformative power of a single, determined individual. As we move further from the thundering hooves of the Mongol cavalry, and the echoes of their conquests fade into the vastness of the steppe, we carry with us the understanding that even in destruction, there can be the seeds of new connections, new pathways for the flow of ideas and goods. The Silk Road, ever resilient, adapted to the new order, becoming a testament to the enduring human desire for connection, even across the most formidable of empires. The story of Genghis Khan and the Mongols is a powerful reminder of the cyclical nature of history, where periods of intense conflict can paradoxically lead to eras of unprecedented exchange and interconnectedness, shaping the world in ways that continue to unfold. Our journey along the Silk Road, though primarily focused on the flow of goods and ideas, occasionally leads us to monumental testaments of human ambition and belief. Structures that speak volumes without uttering a single sound. One such profound silence emanates from the heart of ancient China, a silence guarded by an army of clay, a testament to the singular vision of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. We turn now to the enigmatic terracotta warriors, a silent legion buried for millennia, only to emerge and whisper tales of an empire's might and a ruler's relentless pursuit of immortality. Imagine, if you will, the sheer scale of such an undertaking. Thousands upon thousands of life-sized figures, each meticulously crafted, each with unique facial features, standing in silent formation, ready to serve their emperor in the afterlife. This was not merely a burial accompaniment. It was a subterranean empire, a mirror image of the world Qin Shi Huang ruled, designed to ensure his continued power and protection in the spiritual realm. The discovery of this silent army in 1974 by local farmers digging a well was not just an archaeological find. It was a revelation, pulling back the veil on an era of unparalleled imperial ambition and artistic achievement. The craftsmanship displayed in these figures is nothing short of astonishing. Each warrior, whether infantryman, archer, or charioteer, is a masterpiece of ancient artistry. Their armor, their weapons, their hairstyles, even the intricate patterns on their shoes, are rendered with an almost obsessive attention to detail. No two faces are exactly alike, suggesting a production process that, while standardized in its overall form, allowed for individual artistic expression. The sheer volume of these figures, combined with their individual uniqueness, speaks to an organizational and artistic prowess that is difficult to comprehend even today. The clay, sourced locally, was molded, fired, and then painted with vibrant colors that, tragically, faded almost immediately upon exposure to the air after their long burial. Beyond the warriors themselves, the tomb complex is a sprawling necropolis, a vast underground city. Excavations have revealed not only the infantry and cavalry, but also chariots, horses, acrobats, musicians, and even civil officials, all designed to accompany the emperor into eternity. The logistics of their creation are mind-boggling. It is estimated that hundreds of thousands of laborers, artisans, and engineers worked on the tomb complex for decades, a monumental undertaking that consumed vast resources and human lives. The scale of the project reflects Qin Shi Huang's absolute power and his unshakable belief in his own divine right to rule, even beyond death. Yet, for all the revelations, the greatest mystery remains largely untouched: the tomb of Qin Shi Huang himself. The terracotta army guards the perimeter of a central mound, beneath which lies the emperor's final resting place. Ancient texts, most notably those by the historian Sima Qian, describe a tomb of unimaginable splendor, a microcosm of the empire with rivers of mercury, constellations of pearls, and booby traps designed to deter intruders. For centuries, these accounts were dismissed as mere legend, but scientific surveys have indeed detected high concentrations of mercury within the mound, lending credence to the ancient descriptions. The unanswered questions surrounding the tomb are as intriguing as the discoveries already made. What secrets does it hold? What treasures? What historical records? What further artistic marvels lie buried within? The decision to leave it undisturbed is a testament to a modern understanding of preservation, a patient waiting for a future when technology can truly do justice to its contents. This silent army, therefore, serves not only as a monument to a powerful emperor, but also as a symbol of the enduring mysteries of history, a reminder that some secrets are best left to slumber until the time is right for their gentle awakening. The terracotta warriors offer a unique window into the Qin dynasty, a period of immense change and consolidation in Chinese history. Qin Shi Huang unified China, standardized weights and measures, established a common currency, and began the construction of the Great Wall. His reign, though brief and tyrannical, laid the foundations for subsequent imperial dynasties. The Silent Army, therefore, is not just a collection of statues. It is a tangible link to a pivotal moment in human civilization, a frozen tableau of an empire at its peak, preparing for an eternal journey. As we contemplate this silent, subterranean world, we are reminded of the human desire for permanence, for a legacy that transcends mortality. Qin Shi Huang, in his quest for eternal dominion, inadvertently created one of the most astonishing archaeological wonders of the world, a monument that continues to captivate and mystify. The Silk Road, in its vastness, connects not only distant lands, but also different eras, allowing us to glimpse the profound beliefs and monumental undertakings of those who came before us. The Silent Army stands as a sentinel, a quiet guardian of history, inviting us to ponder the depths of human ambition and the enduring power of the past. Let us now delve deeper into the meticulous process of their creation, the profound symbolism embedded within their silent ranks, and the enduring impact of Qin Shi Huang's reign that necessitated such an extraordinary undertaking. The construction of the Terracotta Army was not a haphazard affair. It was a highly organized, almost industrial-scale operation, involving specialized workshops and a vast workforce. Artisans, conscripted from across the empire, were tasked with producing these figures, each group likely specializing in different components: torsos, legs, heads, hands. The bodies were often mass-produced using molds, but the heads were individually sculpted, giving each warrior a distinct personality, a silent testament to the individuality of the soldiers they represented. This combination of standardization and individual artistry is a hallmark of Qin craftsmanship, reflecting the emperor's desire for both efficiency and grandeur. The sheer logistics of the project are staggering. Imagine the amount of clay that needed to be excavated, transported, and processed. Consider the kilns required to fire thousands of life-sized figures, each needing to be heated to precise temperatures to ensure durability. The scale of the labor force, estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands, speaks to the immense power and control wielded by Qin Shi Huang. These laborers, many of them conscripts or forced laborers, toiled under harsh conditions, their lives dedicated to the construction of this eternal army. The human cost of this monumental undertaking, though unrecorded in detail, must have been immense, a silent sacrifice to the emperor's grand vision. The symbolism of the Terracotta Army extends beyond mere protection. It represents Qin Shi Huang's desire to replicate his earthly empire in the afterlife, to maintain his power and authority even beyond death. The different ranks and formations of the warriors, infantry, cavalry, archers, charioteers, mirror the actual military organization of the Qin dynasty, suggesting a belief that the afterlife would be a continuation of earthly existence complete with battles and governance. The presence of civil officials, acrobats, and musicians further reinforces this idea, indicating a desire for a complete and functioning court in the spiritual realm. This elaborate funerary complex was a declaration of eternal dominion, a physical manifestation of the emperor's unshakable belief in his own centrality to the cosmic order. The discovery of the terracotta army has not only provided invaluable insights into the Qin dynasty's military and artistic capabilities, but has also shed light on the broader cultural and philosophical beliefs of ancient China regarding death and the afterlife. The emphasis on preserving the body and providing for the deceased in the afterlife was a deeply ingrained aspect of Chinese funerary practices. But Qin Shi Huang took this to an unprecedented extreme. His tomb complex, with its silent army, stands as the ultimate expression of this belief, a monumental effort to defy the finality of death and ensure an eternal reign. Furthermore, the terracotta army serves as a powerful reminder of the transformative and often brutal nature of Qin Shi Huang's reign. He was a unifier, bringing an end to centuries of warring states and establishing the first centralized imperial dynasty in China. His reforms, standardizing weights, measures, currency, and even the written script, laid the groundwork for a unified Chinese identity that endures to this day. However, his rule was also characterized by extreme authoritarianism, censorship, and harsh legalism. The very scale of the terracotta army, built through immense human effort and sacrifice, is a testament to the absolute power he wielded, a power that could command such a colossal undertaking. The ongoing archaeological work at the site continues to reveal new insights, each discovery adding another layer to our understanding of this extraordinary historical period. The decision to leave the emperor as main tomb undisturbed is a testament to the ethical considerations and scientific prudence of modern archaeology, a recognition that some secrets are best left to the future, when technology and understanding can truly do them justice. This patient approach ensures that when the tomb is eventually opened, its contents can be preserved and studied with the utmost care, revealing even more profound insights into the life and beliefs of China's first emperor. As we conclude our contemplation of this silent subterranean world, we are left with a sense of awe at the sheer scale of human ambition and the enduring power of belief. The terracotta army, standing in its eternal vigil, is not just a collection of clay figures. It is a profound historical document, a silent epic of an empire's might, a ruler's quest for immortality, and the countless lives that contributed to its creation. It is a powerful reminder that even in the stillness of death, history continues to speak, whispering tales of power, artistry, and the enduring human desire to leave an indelible mark upon the world. The Silk Road, in its vastness, connects not only distant lands, but also different eras, allowing us to glimpse the profound beliefs and monumental undertakings of those who came before us. The silent army stands as a sentinel, a quiet guardian of history, inviting us to ponder the depths of human ambition and the enduring power of the past. Having traversed the perilous deserts and scaled the formidable mountains, having witnessed the rise of empires and the silent majesty of ancient burials, our journey along the Silk Road now brings us to a place of vibrant life, a jewel shimmering in the heart of Central Asia, Samarkand. This golden city, a name that conjures images of exotic splendor and bustling markets, was a true crossroads of cultures, a cosmopolitan hub where East met West and ideas, goods, and peoples mingled in a dazzling display of human interaction. To truly appreciate the Silk Road, one must linger in the embrace of Samarkand during its golden age, particularly under the Timurid dynasty, when it reached its zenith of architectural and intellectual brilliance. Imagine stepping into this city, perhaps after months on the road, the dust of the desert still clinging to your clothes. The first sight that would greet you and indeed still does, are the majestic, turquoise-domed mosques and madrasas of the Registan. This central square, a breathtaking ensemble of 3 grand madrasas, the Ulubek, Shurdor, and Tilya Kori, is a symphony of intricate tilework, soaring minarets, and grand portals. Each tile, a tiny piece of ceramic art, contributes to a mosaic of geometric patterns, calligraphic inscriptions, and floral motifs that shimmer under the Central Asian sun. The sheer scale and artistic ambition of these structures speak volumes about the wealth, the piety, and the intellectual curiosity that flourished in Samarkand. They were not merely places of worship. They were centers of learning, where scholars from across the Islamic world gathered to study astronomy, mathematics, philosophy, and theology. Wander through the bustling bazaars, and your senses would be overwhelmed. The air would be thick with the scent of exotic spices, cinnamon, cardamom, saffron, mingling with the aroma of freshly baked bread and the sweet perfume of dried fruits. Merchants from distant lands would hawk their wares, shimmering silks from China, intricate carpets from Persia, precious jewels from India, and furs from the northern steppes. The cacophony of languages, Persian, Arabic, Turkic, Chinese, would create a vibrant tapestry of sound, a testament to the city's global reach. Here, you could find anything your heart desired, from a rare manuscript to a sturdy camel, from a delicate porcelain vase to a finely crafted sword. The exchange was not just of goods, but of stories, of news from distant empires, of new ideas and innovations. Samarkand's strategic location, at the intersection of major trade routes, ensured its prosperity. It was a vital link in the chain of the Silk Road, a place where caravans rested, resupplied, and exchanged their precious cargo. But it was more than just a trading post. It was a melting pot of cultures. Persian influence was strong, evident in the architecture, the language, and the refined courtly traditions. Indian traders brought their spices and philosophies, while Chinese artisans introduced their techniques for papermaking and silk production. The city was a testament to the power of cultural exchange, a living example of how diverse traditions could blend and flourish, creating something new and magnificent. Under the patronage of Timur and his successors, particularly his grandson Ulugh, Samarkand experienced a golden age of science and art. Ulugh, a renowned astronomer and mathematician, built an observatory that was considered one of the finest in the Islamic world. His astronomical tables were remarkably accurate for their time, a testament to the intellectual rigor that characterized Samarkand's scholarly community. The city became a beacon of learning, attracting the brightest minds from across the known world, fostering an environment of intellectual inquiry and artistic innovation. Life in Samarkand, for those who thrived within its walls, was a stark contrast to the hardships faced by the merchants on the road. While the merchant endured the dust and danger, the city dweller enjoyed the fruits of their labor. The wealthy lived in opulent houses adorned with frescoes and intricate carvings, their gardens filled with fragrant flowers and bubbling fountains. The public baths offered respite and cleanliness, while the numerous mosques and madrasas provided spiritual and intellectual nourishment. Even for the common folk, life in Samarkand offered a degree of comfort and opportunity rarely found elsewhere along the Silk Road. However, even in this golden city, the shadows of the wider world were never far. Political intrigues, shifting alliances, and the ever-present threat of invasion were constant concerns. The very wealth that made Samarkand so alluring also made it a target. Yet, through centuries of upheaval, the city endured, its spirit of commerce and cultural exchange proving remarkably resilient. Its architectural wonders, though weathered by time, continue to stand as a testament to its glorious past, silent witnesses to the ebb and flow of empires and the enduring human desire for beauty and knowledge. As we depart from the vibrant splendor of Samarkand, its turquoise domes receding into the horizon, We carry with us the understanding that the Silk Road was not merely a series of dusty tracks. It was a living, breathing network, a conduit for the exchange of not just goods, but of ideas, of art, of faith, and of human experience. Samarkand, in its golden age, epitomized this exchange, a shining example of what can be achieved when diverse cultures meet, mingle, and inspire one another. It reminds us that even in the pursuit of profit, there can be profound beauty, and that the connections forged across vast distances can lead to the most extraordinary blossoming of human civilization. Let us now immerse ourselves more deeply in the daily rhythms and sensory experiences of Samarkand, exploring the intricate details of its urban life, the intellectual currents that flowed through its institutions, and the enduring legacy of its cultural synthesis. Beyond the grand monuments, the city was a vibrant tapestry of human activity, a place where the mundane and the magnificent coexisted in a dynamic equilibrium. Consider the sounds of Samarkand, the rhythmic clang of the blacksmith's hammer, shaping metal into tools and weapons, the melodic calls of street vendors, hawking their wares, fresh fruits, sweet pastries, cool drinks, the murmur of conversations in a dozen different languages, a constant hum of commerce and social interaction, the distant strains of music from a tea house, perhaps a lute or a drum, adding to the city's rich auditory landscape. And, of course, the ever-present sound of water, from the gurgling fountains in courtyards to the gentle flow of irrigation channels, a precious commodity in this arid region, carefully managed and celebrated. The visual spectacle was equally captivating. The vibrant colors of textiles draped in the bazaars, from rich silks to sturdy woolens, creating a kaleidoscope of hues. The intricate patterns of the ceramic tiles reflecting the sunlight in a dazzling display of blues, greens, and golds. The varied faces of the people, merchants with sun-darkened skin from distant lands, local artisans with calloused hands, scholars with thoughtful expressions, and children playing in the dusty streets. Every corner of Samarkand offered a new visual delight, a testament to the city's diverse population and its thriving artistic traditions. The intellectual life of Samarkand was as rich as its commercial activity. The madrasas were not just architectural marvels. They were bustling centers of learning, where students from across the Islamic world gathered to debate, to study, and to expand their knowledge. Alabek's Observatory, a marvel of medieval engineering, was a testament to the city's commitment to scientific inquiry. Here, astronomers meticulously charted the stars, calculated planetary movements, and refined existing astronomical tables, contributing significantly to the scientific knowledge of the era. This intellectual curiosity extended beyond astronomy, encompassing mathematics, medicine, philosophy, and literature, making Samarkand a beacon of enlightenment in a world often shrouded in ignorance. The city's gardens, too, were an integral part of its charm and a reflection of its cultural values. Persian garden design, with its emphasis on geometric layouts, water features, and fragrant plants, was highly influential. These gardens provided respite from the heat and dust of the city, offering cool, shaded spaces for contemplation, conversation, and relaxation. They were miniature paradises, designed to evoke the beauty and order of the natural world, and were often adorned with pavilions and intricate tilework, blurring the lines between nature and art. Samarkand's culinary traditions were another reflection of its multicultural identity. The spices brought from India and the East were incorporated into local dishes, creating a unique fusion of flavors. The abundance of fresh fruits and nuts, grown in the fertile oases surrounding the city, provided a rich and varied diet. The tea houses, ubiquitous throughout the city, served as social hubs where people gathered to drink tea, share news, and engage in lively discussions, a vital part of the city's social fabric. Despite its splendor, life in Samarkand was not without its challenges. The constant threat of invasion, the vagaries of trade, and the occasional outbreaks of disease were ever-present concerns. The city's wealth made it a tempting target for ambitious conquerors, and its history is punctuated by periods of destruction and rebuilding. Yet, each time, Samarkand rose from the ashes, its strategic importance and its vibrant spirit ensuring its continued existence. The resilience of its people, their ability to adapt and rebuild, is as much a part of its legacy as its architectural masterpieces. As we take our final lingering look at the golden city of Samarkand, its turquoise dome shimmering in the fading light, we are left with a profound sense of its enduring significance. It was a city that transcended its physical boundaries, becoming a symbol of cultural exchange, intellectual pursuit, and artistic excellence. It reminds us that the Silk Road was not just a conduit for goods, but a catalyst for human connection, a grand stage upon which the diverse cultures of Eurasia interacted, influenced, and enriched one another. The legacy of Samarkand, with its stunning architecture, its vibrant markets, and its intellectual achievements, continues to inspire awe and wonder, a testament to the extraordinary blossoming of human civilization that can occur when diverse traditions meet and mingle. It is a quiet reminder that the pursuit of beauty, knowledge, and connection can flourish even in the most challenging of environments, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of human history. And so, we reach the quiet end of our long road. The camels have stopped. The fires in the caravanserais have burned down to embers. The domes of Samarkand shimmer in your memory, and the terracotta warriors remain still, deep underground, guarding a world that once was. We've traveled far tonight, not just across land, but through centuries. You've walked with merchants braving the desert, stood beside Genghis Khan beneath the endless sky, wandered through clay armies lost in time, and felt the hush of ancient mosques beneath the stars. What remains is stillness. The world of the Silk Road, its danger, its grandeur, its dust and dreams now folds itself gently away, like a scroll tucked back into its case. All around you is quiet again. Let your mind rest where the stories have ended. Let sleep find you where time slows down, and the only journey left is inward. Thank you for being here. Good night, and may your dreams carry you softly across the sands of history.